guys, so for today's video I'm going to be making some pasta, making a super basic recipe, and I'm going to be doing also a very small batch because I think it's important that when you're starting a new recipe you always do a smaller amount than normal, just because you never really know how long it might take you. You can make pasta with a food processor and that speeds up the process a lot. I personally like to do it by hand, which is what I will show you how to do. I also use a pasta machine to roll it out and shape it easier. I just feel like that's a lot better than cutting it, but cutting it if you don't have one is definitely a possibility. So let's head to the kitchen. That was really awkward, but anyway. So if you have long hair, put your hair up and then put on your apron. Oh, my apron. There we go. Let's get started.
For this recipe, you'll need 2 large eggs, 1 cup unbleached all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, which I like to add to the egg mixture. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your flour and pour it into a circle with the center hollowed out so there's room to pour the eggs into.
So after a dough looks like that, you're going to want to take the eggs that we cracked into the bowl, and you're going to either want to stir them first and pour them in, or just stir after you pour them in. Go ahead and mix the eggs and stir in the flour as you go, and it's going to be a messy process. Don't worry if you get flour and eggs all over your hands. That's pretty much unavoidable. So you're going to want to start working the dough in with your hands, and they will look really messy. Next, you just want to use sort of any sharp edge and bring in all that flour and egg that's stuck to the side. You're going to want to get in there and start kneading the dough. And your hands are going to look gross and messy. Alright, well, once you work your pasta dough into a ball, you're going to take a bowl like this and just set it over the pasta and let it set for 30 minutes. I don't want to get copyrighted.
After setting for 30 minutes, you might find that your dough becomes sticky again. The best way to deal with this is to flatten the dough out, take your sharp edge, and cut it in half. Then flour the 2 halves separately.
The next thing we're going to do is take our dough and make it into pasta with the pasta machine. I personally am just using a pasta machine for the sake of time. You can, however, if you wanted to do it by hand, you just flatten your dough really thin, however thin you want your pasta to be, and take a knife and cut it into strips about 11 inches long.
Beginning at the lowest setting, run your dough through the machine, making sure that it is floured enough so it does not stick to the machine and break apart. Continue to run the dough through on each individual setting until the dough becomes very thin.
As far as consistency goes, you're going to want a dough that looks like it's see-through.
Once your dough is thin enough, cut it around 11 inches. Run the new pieces through the machine on the other attachment once more. Let your pasta set on a floured sheet for 5 to 10 minutes. After setting, I like to take my pasta and wrap them into nests for storage. It's important that they are floured enough so they do not stick together when you go to cook them.